Bit more about the situation at Melbourne United, how they're feeling tonight, because great to welcome to the coverage courtside Drew Jones. He's got the coach of United with him.
Thanks, Alistair. Yeah, I do have Dean Vickerman, the coach of Melbourne United, with me. Dean, a couple of boys under the weather this week. Dave and Chris, can you give us an update on their health?
Yeah, Chris was got through practice well yesterday and today, and so he'll be close to full health. Yeah, Barlow, similar kind of thing, fevers, but got through it, and yeah, he'll be fine to play.
So, build up to tonight. The last couple of performances here haven't been quite what you like, particularly offensively. What have you worked on to be able to spark something tonight? Yeah,
really went back to basic structure and understanding. I think at points this season as coaches, we've just skipped steps to try and get some wins, and so we went back to process a little bit more and really asked players some questions about their understanding, and yeah, back to being a bit more of a teacher this week.
Dean, a lot of talk externally about the makeup of the roster and potential imports, replacements for Ariel Porty. Just on Jordan Caroline, what do you need from him tonight to get the best out of him while he's with you and trying to contribute?
Yeah, you know, he's a small ball 5 for us right now. That's with Barlow coming into the roster and David Quera playing well. So one, we need Isaac Humphries to stay out of foul trouble and stay on the floor. But Jordan to bring some great energy. We know how hard he plays, but we see some mismatches with him with some of the switching that they'll do tonight. And then his ability to defend bigger guys at the other end and rebound.
Dean, good luck tonight. Should be a cracker.
Cheers.
Great to hear from the coach of Melbourne United. Someone they'll have to watch tonight without question is Keanu Pinder, whose growth within this competition has been quite staggering across the last couple of seasons, Pete.
He has had an unbelievable last 18 to 24 months, and this is a man who, when he was playing with the Adelaide 36ers under Connor Henry, was close to potentially not even being in the league the following year. Showed very few snippets of what he could do. He went to Cairns Taipans under close friend and coach Adam Ford, and he's unlocked his full potential and continuing to do so. He's a superstar in this league, on the rise. He's so fun to watch, and he's their main guy. I'm not sure anybody would have predicted that Pinder would be the main guy for the Cairns Taipans this season. He won Most Improved Player last season. Could he potentially win it again? At this rate, I don't see why not.
I'll tell you what there is the potential for tonight, Damon, and that is lots of three-point attempts from the Cairns Taipans, because they've had over 40 the last 2 weeks. Haven't been overly accurate with them. 22% against Perth, 32.5% against the Kings, but they'll keep on chucking them up.
This is exactly what Adam Ford put together. He wants nothing but threes. They even shoot threes in the layup lines. They don't even shoot layups. These guys get down the court, they play D, they get out in transition, and every single one of them will let it fly. They get 35 shots up a game in a 40-minute game. That's nearly a 3 every minute. They're unbelievable.
And it's the way they play, which means that you might get the occasional loss like happened at home against Perth, because they're going to shoot a lot of threes, they're going to take a lot of shots, and if they're not dropping, they might find themselves on the wrong end of a big loss. But if they're hitting, they might get some big scouts, which they've been doing. They're one of the most fun teams to watch in the league, but there should be some fireworks in this one.
Chris Golding giving his team a bit of a rev up. There's the champion starting 5 for United.
Yeah, no surprise here. They're on the same starting lineup. Jordan Caroline coming in as a backup 5-man. Small ball, Dean Vickerman said. I'm not sure we've had too many 6'3" small ball lineups in the 5 spot, Damon.
Nah, he's a small ball 3-man. And you look at the Taipans, they obviously going with Shannon Scott, who's been playing phenomenal lights-out basketball. Charlie's son, DJ Hawk, Sam Wardenberg, Keanu Pinder, and they finishing off with, I missed that last guy, who's that? Sam Wardenberg.
That's it. Starting 5, so thanks to champion. The tip-off, big game, John Cain Arena. And the United fans, they know success, and they want to see success tonight. And they'll have first possession, Melbourne United. Xavier Rattan-Mays. Barlow, who's been starting, keeping Caroline out of that starting lineup. Kicked out by Humphries. Barlow goes inside, and it drops.
Well, you can see the first look going to Isaac Humphries. A lot was spoken about in the media and at training, basically saying he's doing so much work down low, they've got to reward the big fella. So they throw it into him, and he makes a good kick out, good finish from Dave Barlow to get their account started.
Keanu Pinder, the steal, and Barlow. Humphries again into the paints.
It's simple basketball, people. It ain't that complicated. Humphries went down there, got a good seal. He recognized the mismatch, had Shannon Scott on him. 2 dribble crab to the middle, lefty jump hook all day long.
Wardenberg to make a real impact in the NBL. Scott. That looked awkward. Didn't fall. And we're going to see a lot of rebounds from Humphries. Got himself in early foul trouble against the Jack Jumpers and had to manage his minutes. Ratan Mays fed Humphries, but he couldn't put that right hook away.
It's a great cut from Isaac Humphries. Just probably had to slow down and just go up and finish. He's moving well. They're rewarding him.
Wardenberg gets a look.
This is when the United's going to have to really pay attention on their rotations, because Cairns does not need any invitations to shoot threes. They're going to do that anyway. And just then there was a breakdown in rotations. Wardenberg gets a wide open three-pointer.
Humphries. That's a backcourt violation.
Have another look at this. That was a little miscommunication from Tucker and Ratan Mays. Wardenberg, he's going to knock that down. And if you're Tucker and Ratan Mays there, you've got to communicate. That's a straight switch, guard on guard. I know they're trying to send Tucker to Hogue right now, but they're just going to come together and talk that through.
I reckon we'll be seeing a few three-pointers knocked down from the Taipans on the Amy replay as Pinder has a go. Off the rim. Scott kicks it back out. Hogue.
Layup.
Yes!
That's what he can do.
Nice.
His feet are set. He is knocked down. That's 2 threes already. The Taipans have won all 3 games when they hit 10 or more threes. That's how they're designed to play.
Even Keanu, who only took 7 threes so far this season, hits 2 of them. You wouldn't like to see him do it, but he's got the freedom to do it. Anybody that's giving me a double-double every game, he can take a couple of threes if he wants to.
Barlow, the veteran. That doesn't go from Rajon Tucker.
That is great one-on-one defense from Keanu Pinder. Melbourne United emptied the side out. They thought there was a mismatch, but Pinder moving his feet, staying down, forcing Tucker into a long contested 2.
Yeah, everybody thought that was a mismatch except Keanu. Keanu is an underrated perimeter defender. He can guard every position on the floor, Pete, so he's comfortable out there. You don't need to run a double in him. You don't need to give that much help. Keanu's good in one-on-one situations.
When I say that he's a chance to win Most Improved Player once again, it's not unheard of. A couple of years ago, Finn Delaney was in the conversation in back-to-back seasons with his incredible rise before he's taken his talents to Germany for the time being. That just speaks to how high.
Oh, Xavier Ratan Mays got through the contact. Came up with a big bucket for Melbourne United.
Oh my.
Keanu Pinder at the other end. They're setting a standard.
Bull call on this matchup right here with Xavier. You can't be too aggressive. I know you're a defensive player, but if you guard him that close, that tight, 35 feet away from the basket, you're inviting trouble. And Xavier got to the rack too easy just then. Luckily for them, they came down the other end, and Keanu had a mismatch with Isaac on the perimeter.
Well, it looked like at the start, ball call was going to Chris Golding, and after Ratan Mays got that quick bucket, they've switched that up. Maybe that's going to be Scott and Cole working together, because you don't want to let Chris Golding get off the hook. He's had a couple of slower games to his standards, especially at John Cain Arena, so he'll be looking for some sort of bounce-back performance individually.
Pinder again. 2 shots. He'll go to the line. Well, interestingly on Golding, those numbers in the John Cain Arena games of late. 7 points against the Kings, Pete and Damon. 5 points against the Jack Jumpers in the last match. He scored almost 2,000 points at this venue, but they've been able to curtail him. How have they done it?
Well, I mean, they've done it because there hasn't been any real, besides Ratan Mays, offensive weapons consistently to take the pressure off him. And I think that's the roster they're trying to put around. We've seen how successful he can be. And it's not just him, because the last 2 games at John Cain Arena, 80 minutes of total game time. Melbourne United has led for 1 minute and 12 seconds over the last.
That's not going to get it done, is it?
It's not.
No.
So
they got to find a way to get Chris Golding some good looks. You just can't hand him the ball and just say, go to work. Get this guy coming off some staggered doubles, some flare picks, get where guys actually have to close out on him. That's when he's his most dangerous.
Been shooting the ball at 34.1 from the field this season. Chris Golding against a career average of 41.3. Rajon Tucker's getting busy. Humphries couldn't maintain possession.
And it's another one of those possessions where the ball just sticks, trying to make a play. Yes, he was unselfish at the end, but the defense didn't have to do any movement. It's DJ Hogue. Have to get going. That's no good there. Pick-up game vibe here.
Hey, what you're watching right now, Pete, is a team that don't have a point guard on the floor. Now, I noticed that Dean is taking Xavier out of the game a little bit early because he looks like he's been fatiguing late. So now, who's the point guard? Rajon Tucker, and that's when that possession just saw was not very good. So this is when you really need Shea Illy back.
Hogues attempted three off the rim.
You know, breaking play, just a wet floor. Shannon Scott trying to ask for a foul. And look, you're right, David. Shea Illy changes the whole dynamic for this team. And don't be surprised that when he does come back, he's still dealing with those concussion symptoms. That maybe that brings Rajon Tucker to the bench, and you have Retan Mays is a scorer. Shea Illy's a true point guard, so to be able to maybe bring Tucker off, take a bit more pressure off him as well. This team is missing this man here more than you could ever understand. His leadership, and he's one of those players that does not need the ball to have a big impact in a game.
Great start here for Cairns. Dean Vickerman talked about in the pre-season with new players he had coming into the roster that this might be a bit of a slow build for Melbourne United, so certainly not panic stations. Let's go courtside to Drew Jones. Drew.
Boys, thanks so much. Good to be with you inside John Cain Arena. So just a quick injury update for you. So we know no Tajir McCall tonight, a hip strain, expected to be back in a couple of weeks. He didn't even make the trip to Melbourne as he continues that rehabilitation. From a Melbourne point of view, Mason Peatling is also expected back for a knee injury in round 6. But the big one, and we've talked about it so much over the last few weeks, is Shea Illy. Ticked another box in his recovery today. May well start contact work next week and might be back for round 5. A massive inclusion for Melbourne when he's ready.
And
absolutely.
For a lot of people talking about it, obviously he's listed as concussion. From all reports, so copped a knock from Isaac Humphries in the pre-season. Sat out because of the concussion symptoms, and obviously we take care of the head. Came back, copped another knock immediately. So this is why the due diligence are really making sure you take as long as you need to get back. Head injuries are trying to protect at all costs, but they'll look forward to welcoming back Mason Peatling as well, because they are thin without Ariel Hook-Porty.
Yeah, it has a compounding effect with the concussions. Often we've seen it with the cricketer Will Bukowski. It can take only a minor knock, it can lead to quite a bad concussion, so got to be careful. Shannon Scott and DJ Hogue not on the same page there.
One of Shannon's rare turnovers for the entire season. He takes really good care of the ball. Even with Tajir McCall being out, you get to see a lot more of Shannon Scott. And his performance so far, his assist-to-turnover ratio has been great.
Newley. There's a great shot. Well, Golding with his first three.
What did they do, Pete?
They ran it for him, but Shannon Scott didn't have to cheat that screen. You've got to stay attached to Chris Golding, because yes, he struggled to shoot. As you see the numbers there on this floor, the last thing you want to do is let him feel good about himself. That's an offensive foul, moving screen. Keanu pinned. Adam Ford doesn't like it at all. Having a look at it here. See, Shannon Scott tries to jump across the steal. You just got to stay solid. You've got to stay attached to Chris Golding, because last thing he does, if he feels good, he can... That's just a little bit in it. So we had a delay of game warning, and this is a hot topic as well. There's been a lot of delay of game warning shooting after the whistle. They're trying to speed the game up. Okay, there's a whistle. Let's just hand the ball back to the refs. Do you like it?
Not a huge fan, but United do need to speed the game up anyway, though. But, oh, Kerry, we don't have a point guard on the floor for the United. Rajon Tucker to point. You almost got to be so methodical right now who brings this ball up the floor. Maybe Newley, somebody that can be a little bit more trustworthy to get you into some offense.
Ball Qual. Goes to the rim, loses it. Newley comes up with it for United.
That's great defense from Brad Newley. You can actually hear him on the backdoor.
Great defense from the Taipans. Humphries looks certain to score.
Foul number 25.
It's a great pass, but DJ Hogue coming across from the weak side.
In the words of Lenard Copeland, no sir.
14. Subs, come in.
Like the way that Humphries sealed rim to rim, go down and be a big target. You're the biggest guy on the floor. Good job by Rajon to find him. Just so happens he got blocked that time. But if he can get at least 5 to 6 of those, they'll go a long way to winning.
Such a presence, Humphries. Golding, left hand floater, no. Wardenberg the rebound. Scott thought about kicking it out. Oh, looks a good old shove.
Rebound, Bell.
from DJ Hogue.
It's going to be a foul on the rebound of David Aquera. Good attack on the boards by Wardenberg. And DJ Hogue, he's had a couple of really good looks now. Knocked down his first three. He's 0 of 4 since.
You can see what Cairns is doing. They putting Isaac in every ball screen. They looking to ISO him. Shannon Scott let him off the hook that time by giving it up to DJ. But he's going to have to do, well, they just took him off the floor now. Took Isaac off, so now we got Jordan Caroline makes his first impression. Hopefully he can get something going.
Qual. Transition now. Tan Mays, closely guarded, kicks it out. Aquera. Qual. And Antonio getting some tick. Wardenberg working into the lane.
Here, John Caroline there, just signalling to David Aquera. Got to switch that. We spoke before about Rattan Mays. Tucker, like for like. You can switch that. Caroline and Aquera, they're the two big guys for United. That's got to be a simple switch as well. Just a couple of miscommunications on the defensive end. We're against a really powerful offensive team in Cairns. They're going to make you pay. Someone is going to take a wide open shot if you have a breakdown.
They're both basically playing 5-out offense, except the difference is Cairns is actually moving their bodies around. Whereas the United go 5-out as one guy pound the ball. Just then, even though Xavier got Aquera a wide open shot, everybody's standing around. It's not conducive to winning.
Low scoring, tight start with John Cain Arena. Aquera, wide open, knocks down the three.
Much needed knockdown, and as you heard Dean Vickerman in the pre-game, speaking of Drew Jones about David Aquera is playing really well right now in that power forward spot, in the backup spot.
Ben Air, who himself is dangerous from deep. Wardenberg from the perimeter. Tan Mays. Aquera lost the handle.
Normally,
The United ball.
Normally Xavier, that's a good job. Penetrating kick. Newly came up and gave Xavier the pick. Let him get downhill, sucks the defense in, and you never help out of that corner, do you, Pete? Gives up a wide open three.
You're right, strong side corner. Always taught to stay home on that.
Another chance. Caroline would love one to drop.
Just 1 of 11 on the season from 3. That's not his game. It's more of the bully ball getting downhill.
It's just 5.8 points per game, Jordan Caroline. Hogue over the top. There we go. Wardenberg with the slam.
Exciting young talent.
It's defensive breakdowns like that that'll drive Dean nuts. I mean, this is regardless of what personnel you have on the floor. Pick and roll on the wing. Nobody's on the split line or just bad pick and roll defense. It leads to an easy dunk.
Two shots.
Arm first, and then ball.
Caroline will go to the line.
Number 10. Grab.
Foul called on Ben Air.
Timeout.
Jordan Caroline, can we just say, like, this guy is under the most pressure of any player in the league so far. He knows it. He's heard the noise. He knows it. He knows he's playing for his, not his career, but for his season. And something about that really gets me excited to help. Hopefully this guy does well, because this is when you really find out what you're about. He's clearly being played out of position. Now, that's not a fault of his. Dean has got him as a small ball 5, which he clearly isn't. But he's got to find a way to make something happen for himself.
Let's go to Drew Jones courtside.
Interesting to talk about the situation with the imports at Melbourne United. I actually spoke to Dean Vickerman at his weekly press conference a couple of days ago and asked him, what is the situation? Where are you at in terms of looking for a potential placement for Ariel Hakporti? Here's what he had to say.
Yeah, we're continuing the search. Obviously, there's been, cuts in the NBA, and we'll see what comes out of that. But yeah, we haven't locked anyone down at this present point. It's no good making a move if you don't get the right guy. And so if we do end up making a move, we'll be patient with it and we'll make sure we get a guy that we believe could help us win the championship.
So I've got a couple of names for you just to throw out that have been cut from NBA teams in recent times. Makua Maker, formerly of the Sydney Kings, he's hoping to play G League, but maybe he can be tempted to Melbourne. DJ Wilson, Willie Cauley-Stein, and what about Kemba Walker, boys? He's available.
Well, thanks, that'd be a big call. But I actually heard a name. I'm not sure where they've landed on that, but about a week or so ago, former number 2 draft pick. So I'm not sure if that's going to eventuate, but again, it's about the right position.
Ooh, spit it out.
Well, you probably can go back and look at which former number 2 draft pick recently isn't in the league right now. You can understand where it is, but and I think a lot of it is, look, Kemba Walker, you want a point guard that's going to be hard to bring, but Willie Cauley-Stein's another one that's been floated around for a little while. And this is the hard part about professional sports. This is how the NBL is too good to wait when you have to think about that, but you want to bring in the right person and not just a great talent, a great player or a great person first and foremost. So,
Of all those names Drew mentioned, put me down for Makua Maker. As much as I'm a Kemba Walker fan, I already got Shea Lee coming back. I don't need a point guard like that, but I need more size.
Team flop warning, the Tucker's flop then.
So the flop warning.
Here we go.
This is tight. Tan Mays with the 1 field goal attempt so far. Tucker gets to work. Oh, gets tangled up. Late in the count. Kept alive. Caroline.
that's what he can do. That's that bully ball. Yes, he might be undersized, but he's a bull. He'll be able to use his frame, his physicality underneath the hoop.
He just bailed out one of the most horrible offensive possessions I've ever seen. On sheer effort, happy for Jordan. You got to get more of that out of him. And less of that. Okay, gets the board. Let's go.
Caroline. Downhill, here we go. Easiest of layups for Ratan Mays and 1.
This is the way you've got to try and go at the Cairns Taipans. They like to play super fast. Well, if there's a missed shot or a long rebound, you've got to run it back down just as fast to try and not let them set up on the defensive end. Because of how good they are offensively, they're still a very, very strong defensive unit once they turn up the pressure.
Goaltending was the call. He bides his time. Drives. Just won't quite drop for him.
Last time Ben Ayre played Melbourne United on this floor, basically got him that 2-year contract at Cairns.
Yep.
Double-double.
I remember that. He got some fond memories of that day. We haven't seen Majuk Ding yet. Instant offense. And the scoreboard looks like it needs him.
11 seconds between the game and shot clock. Deep 3 attempt. Tucker. Last opportunity of the quarter with Melbourne United. Tucker is fouled.
Now, let me say this. There are situations, Pete, in the game when the shot clock's running down, end of a quarter, and you got guys like this that can put the ball on the floor, then it's okay to go into your bag. It's just when the offense starts out like that. It's got to be real situational. Guys got to pick their spots, win the ISO, when to get the ball moving.
This is why the conversation maybe when Shea Ely comes back and slots into the starting point guard role, maybe that does allow Ratan Mays to play the 2, Chris Golding the 3, and you bring in Ray John Tucker off the bench to kind of change the look that he has to go against, because we saw flashes in the preseason of how good he could be, but without that key point guard to get everybody set up in the right position, goes through some periods where he looks a little lost out there. I think that might be something that's looked at in a few weeks' time.
For his first point of the night, Tucker. United by 4. Buzzer beater. Long range attempt. It doesn't go from Antonio. So that is quarter time in the Hungry Jacks NBL Thursday night basketball. Melbourne United 19 leading the Cairns Taipans 15. Quarter time in the Hungry Jacks NBL. Melbourne United looking for a big performance on its home floor. The Taipans have been shooting from outside the arc as they always do, but it is United with an encouraging start, leading 19 points to 15 at quarter time. Alistair Nicholson alongside NBL Championship winners Peter Hawley and Damon Lowry as we get ready to start the second quarter. What caught your eye, Pete, in that first term?
Probably a little bit from what we expected. Both teams came out, showed some flashes of what they could do. It was a good last 90 seconds from Melbourne United. But Cairns Taipans yet to really catch fire. This is a matchup they might try to exploit.
Linda can't get that to drop. Okay, Jeric has checked into the game for the Cairns Taipans.
Mirko hasn't had a whole lot of runs so far this season, but Forty's going deep into his bench early.
The drive from Rattan Mays and the finish.
And that's better patience on the offensive end. You wait for a breakdown, then attack. They didn't try and force anything. Cairns had one of the rare breakdowns on the defensive end, and Rattan Mays ends up getting a layup.
Shannon Scott steps back, hits the rim, and it pops. Rattan Mays thought about it. Combines with Tucker. Foul.
Sometimes they say styles make fights. Right now, United can go with this very small lineup. When I say small, just when I should just say when Humphries is off the floor, because they're small. But now they can play the 5-out game because Cairns is also kind of playing a similar kind of a style, so they don't really get punished for being small.
Never heard that before.
Everybody says that. And he started Jordan the second quarter, which is good.
Caroline, I make it now 2 from 7 this season from the free throw line.
Well, he's knocked that one down. But thankfully they've been playing a lot of home games so far, because that could be a lot of burgers if you're in the away venues. So the NBL dropped a nice little video on Instagram today of asking the players who gave away the most burgers last season. As a fellow reigning burger giveaway, I feel for you, Sam Froling, but we're men of the people.
Majok Deng, you've got your wish, Damon.
Yeah, like I said, Majok is on the 50-40, nearly 90 club. He's 50% from the field. He's 40% from three, just shy under 90% from the foul line. And he's getting double figures in like a half a game in like 20 minutes. So I'm surprised he got in this late, but I think I know what I can expect out of him.
Golding kicks it out for Rattan Mays. Full qual.
Might be a little...
Took contact.
Tell you what, got run into by Keanu Pinder, came down awkwardly. Full call, and keep an eye on Melbourne United's score from this quarter. We have another look of the replay, and Bull Qual had it. Keanu Pinder just ran into him, a little bit of a hyperextension. Yeah, that doesn't look too good at all for Keanu Pinder. I mean, for Bull Qual, sorry, Keanu Pinder running into him, and hopefully that is just a stinger. Because he is super important to this team. We know that they're focal point on the offensive end is Keanu Pinder, but for someone who just does all the intangibles, all the little things, that is Bull Qual.
Yeah, Bull hasn't gotten hot yet like we know he can, but that injury is the last thing Cairns needs, already being short-handed.
Tucker gets a wide open look. Offensive rebound from Rattan Mays. He comes up with the 2.
In the blender, and he says he's too small.
I'll take offense to that. Don't be...
He said you were too small.
just make the layup and get back down the court. But look, you know what? Xavier in the post, he might be their best post player, or at least up there with Isaac. He can make something happen with his size and strength. If you don't collapse on him, he can definitely get his shot off.
Really got into that too from the Amy replay.
So this is a game-high 9-point lead for Melbourne United. Drew Jones is watching courtside. It's been a busy week on the news front, Drew, and you've naturally been covering all of it.
Absolutely, boys. And we went to the Tribunal. There's a bit of AFL style about it. A captain's call to Jesse Wagstaff to challenge that undue roughness call after he set that screen and Lockie Barker was concussed. So risking a 2-game ban if they didn't get the charge off. They could have taken the early guilty plea and got the 1-game ban. So the slight turn of the shoulder was the big issue for the Tribunal. Jesse Wagstaff said essentially it was self-defence as Barker was coming towards him. And the Tribunal, the one-man independent tribunal, agreed with that So he is free to play against Tassie on Saturday night for the Wildcats. What do you think, boys?
I think it's great because that slight turn of the shoulder is absolutely nothing. If Andrew Vlahoff was playing today, he'd be in jail if they wiping out that kind of back pick. So
Dimmer probably agrees.
Dimmer's probably thinking I can use that. But no, I'm glad that Wagstaff got off. Wagstaff played a lot of 3x3 this year with us, and he knows firsthand what a real screen looks like and feels like.
Well, look, I think the right decision came about in the end, but I also don't mind that as a sport in basketball, we are taking a little bit more precaution in terms of all the head knocks to try and just to completely try and remove them from the game. There's going to be ones like that that can be accidental and are accidental, so you can't completely remove it, but just to always look at them and see how we can be better as a sport and try to protect the head of the professional athletes.
Cairns have missed their last 6 3-point attempts. They're getting busy, United, although that doesn't go from Barlow.
And that's great from Jordan Caroline. Those are the efforts that Dean Vickerman and the rest of the team want. Just crash the offensive glass, hang around, finish the dump-offs, be solid on the defensive end. Can't ask for much more.
That's at least the 3rd time he's kept a play alive and gave them an extra possession. And I'm looking out, Cairns only has 15. Now, part of that is bad offense, but you got to give Melbourne United credit. When the Melbourne United were the Melbourne United, they played defense and they choked the life out of your offense. And they're starting to look a little bit like that right now.
John Mays, the inbound. Golding. Tucker decides to go himself. That's missed by some margin.
Good hustle to get back because Taipans, they get out and run.
It's important to note with the Wagstaff situation, he'll be available to play the Jack Jumpers on Saturday, but Felix is in the house. Great to see. It's an independent panel that makes these judgments. So you float it up, they look at the table of offences. It came back as careless contact, high contact and high impact, and it got challenged. And then again, that independent one-person panel deemed that no case to answer. But the terror screen is an interesting one. How much do you rely on your teammates to let you know in that situation?
Now, if you actually look at the baseline angle of it, David Aquera is screaming out to Lockie Barker. There's 12,000 screaming Red Army fans. You can't hear anything at the best of times because how incredible that atmosphere is. So there's no surprise nothing was heard. Okay, Jerich knocks one down, and look, the terror screen's always going to be part of the game. Jarwai made a living out of it.
I picked up the ball full court all the time, and I was constantly looking over my shoulder for guys like Andrew Vlahoff, Mark Brackey, all these big dudes couldn't wait to put me on my butt. So you just have to have your head on the swivel when you're playing D like that.
School of hard knocks, Damon. Shannon Scott. Jerich again. That's going to take him to the line. 3 shots.
He just knocked one down. He was always going to get this next one up. Jerich, we haven't seen a lot of him in NBL23, but he has been a consistent feature on the All-NBL green light team when he gets on the floor. He's never seen a shot he doesn't like, and when you can catch fire, there's a good reason you're on that team.
You know what? That's a defensive momentum killer. The United play some solid D, and then they just get careless and put a guy to the line who just made his last 3. All of a sudden, it's 26 and 18. All of a sudden, it kills your own momentum as well. So there's got to be some more solid.
Didn't score in his first 3 games. He's knocked down a 3. First trip to the line, he knocks down his first 2 free throws.
It's hard to make 3 free throws in a row. Or maybe it's not.
Let's see. Makes it look effortless, Damon Lowry. So that's an important little swing. United were on a 10-0 run. Now the margin is back to only 5. Ratan Mays going to work. Newley lost the handle. Hogan Pinder wanting to combine. That feed from Deng straight.
Normally Majuk would pull that up without even hesitating. He's missed his first 2 and he's a little bit hesitant. You still got to back yourself.
Well, that's your role to come in and let it fly.
Like Golding is here. He lets it fly and he knocks it down. Golding with a couple of 3s. Pinder. Second chance points, courtesy of Scott.
It's a great pass initially from Scott. Pinder should have put a lid on the first one. Stuck with it.
Tan Mays likes the look of that. Mid-range jumper. Margin back out to 8. He's having quite the influence again, Xavier Rattan Mays. Scott goes to work with the right-hand floater. Nice finish.
Now it's only a 6-point game. Look at little things like this. So Isaac Humphries comes up and sets a nice pick for Xavier to get the mid-range jumper. He is going to get tired running from the front of the rim, Pete, all the way to the three-point line. All of a sudden, Isaac gets a little bit tired. If he doesn't get a touch, so he can at least get some rest and maybe even get himself to the foul line, that's when he starts to pick up these tired fouls. They got to look after him.
From deep, he knocks it down.
He hit his first wide-open 3, then missed 3 wide-open shots, and instead now hits the heavy contested from deep, and he's going to go to the line for an extra one for his troubles. I like the look of the way he goes about his business, DJ Hogue.
The Snakes just keep on firing from outside the arc.
They're going to. Live and die by the 3.
They're living by it at the moment.
Raulo got caught what we call squeezing. He was no need for him to just sag into the key like that just because the ball was on the block. And then he had to close out. He closed out recklessly and gave up a 4-point play. You got to know the scout. You got to stay disciplined.
Blink of an eye. Margin back to 2. Guerra. Muley directing traffic. The gesticulation going on out there at the moment. Golding tried to get it inside to the paint where Humphries was waiting, but well read. Scott with the steal. He's on the drive baseline. What a finish.
That's a tough finish because Chris Golding did his job. Centre baseline, and in the end, the balance from Shannon Scott just to be able to contort his body and still finish over the front of the hoop. And we've got a tie ball game.
Unsurprisingly, Dean Vickerman has called the timeout. The margin had been as high as 11 points. So quite the fight back from the Taipans. But they're a side, Damon Larry, who are not going to die wondering at all this season that they're just going to keep coming at you. You look at their performances in the last couple of seasons, last 9th. Got these young, exciting players, and they're keen to show what they're capable of.
That's exactly right. They know who they are as a unit. Now, I'm not saying that means they're going to always win games or they're going to go to the grand final. I'm not saying anything nuts crazy like that. I'm just saying they play a style all the time. They're consistent with how they play. Hello. Hello.
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
On a Thursday.
Doesn't matter what night of the week it is.
Focus, everybody. Talking about
the NBL, you got to get. Doesn't matter who you are, what night it is. The NBL is well worth going to. I'm sure Danny's enjoying herself. I'm not sure she needs the 50,000 courtesy of Latrobe Financial this season. With thanks to our friends at Latrobe Financial, we're giving away a guaranteed $50,000. Enter now at nbl.com.au/legends for your chance to win.
Well, this is why the Taipans will never be out of too many games. And, oh, there's the pipe. Enjoying it. So that, well, I think, go back to, you think Felix paid for those tickets?
No.
Not a chance.
No way.
This is all the Taipans, so they might be down even double figures at times, but their ability to shoot the ball quick and at high volume means they're never out of a game.
This is a dangerous 4 minutes right now for the United. Go to work, big fella.
Humphries goes to work, draws the foul.
Well, it looks like it's going to be, that's going to count. That's some Hamline opportunity, but this is why this is great from Isaac Humphries, because Dean Vickerman took out Rattan Mays and Chris Golding, the last two, to kind of get them going offensively. DJ Hogue, and then really set up Shannon Scott to do nothing else but accidentally foul.
Sorry, Pete. That is a mismatch. DJ Hogue on Isaac Humphries on the box. I consider that a mismatch. I'm going to that every single, not every time, but I'm going to it often. So far, Isaac has rewarded the United twice every time he got a post touch.
He's only averaging 9 points a game. He's got 9 blocks across the season. Saw how good he could play in that win over in the West. I think even United has gone through the video review and realised they're probably underutilising him for all the hard work he does. Keanu Pinder is just having his way with whoever in the league so far to start NBL 23.
Don't get cute. Go right back to what you did before. There he is, right there.
Isaac Humphries. He's the man here. Inside he goes, and Caroline finishes with the right hand.
Now he's a playmaker, Pete. He's making plays out of the post.
Stay in court, stay in court.
We don't have to get complicated.
Benair closely guarded by Caroline. Jeric, who's had an impact. Pinder, who always has an impact. Offensive rebound and the putback. He's a very hard man to stop.
Okay, now we got to talk about post defense, Pete.
Well, Keanu Pinder, the way he can put the ball on the floor and the way he trusts his spin move and his balance, it's hard to, if you do a good job at defending him one time, you've got to body up because he's a really good athlete. He can get straight back up, get his own board, and put it back in.
That was his first rebound of the game. Is going to work Tucker with a nice finish. Averaging 10 a game, a league high. Keanu Pinder, just the one rebound for the opening nearly 2 quarters of this match. Pinder backs into Humphries, spins, shoots.
Keanu Island, here's the problem. Here's Isaac's problem, what he's doing right now. You're waiting for Keanu to get the ball in his sweet spots. And now you're just hoping he misses. That's not good D. You got to do your work early, Pete, on a guy like Keanu, because you know how aggressive he is. Keanu is a violent post player. I'll say that. He has bad intentions when he gets the ball in the block.
And a lot of it has got to be, he loves to face up and attack because he can put the ball on the floor, get to his spin move. So as soon as he faces up, you almost have to close the gap. You've got to shrink the gap, get into his body, and put him a little bit off balance. So he gets onto his back foot rather than his front foot. Because if he gets to his front foot and can have a little jab go either which way, it's game over with how good he's playing and the confidence he's playing with.
He's now into double figures, Keanu Pinder. So 10 points for the game.
Only player in the league averaging a double-double.
He can go and have a sit down.
Good to see Bull Paul back. There's nothing wrong with his knee, which is great. Now he's got to contain the ball, be smart.
Tan Mays from the elbow, contested shot.
You're not going to find much better one-on-one defense than that possession there from Bull Qual. Yes, he left his feet, but just take off and then come down and stay where you took off. That's why that wasn't called a foul. And that is just a perfect example of having pride in a one-on-one defense.
It's a noisy John Cain Arena. Shannon Scott off the rim. Golding in transition. What can he create? Qual. Foul called on Bull Qual. Chris Golding doesn't seem to know what's going on at the moment. Just having a bit of a chat with Bull.
It's little fouls like that where Bull Qual, yes, Pete, he plays D and he's aggressive. But when you're that far away from the basket, Golden is no threat out there. You just gave yourself a cheap foul.
Oh, he's a threat out there. Come on, and all players in the NBL, he's a threat out there.
But on his hip in that particular position.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
Yeah, I just thought he just gave away one just then.
Oh, that did not. Well, it was promising and amounted to nothing. Maybe it still will. Golding from deep.
Forget everything I just said.
He is a threat the moment he gets over the half-court line.
On cue for you right there, Pete Hooley. It's Wardenberg into the lane. Doesn't get it to go.
Too long for a heat check.
Oh, he missed him. He missed him. There he is.
Tucker in transition. He gives it back. Damon Lowry winces. He sees things that they're not at the moment. Ray John Tucker.
That's where he's at his best, getting downhill. The Taipans, you've got to take those retreating steps, force him into long-range shots, test him out, how that shot's feeling tonight.
DJ Hogue.
Hogue doesn't mind shooting from the Yarra either.
Scott thought about another long-range attempt. Wardenberg kicks it out to Scott. Now Bull Qual. Tan Mays happy to hold it up. 6 seconds between game and shot clock. Can they extend that margin to 8 or 9 here? Aguera wide open. Doesn't go. Hogue the rebound. Cairns with 5 seconds. Quite a critical play approaching half-time. Ben Eyre, some discomfort, will bounce up. And that is half-time at John Cain Arena, a 6-point lead to Melbourne United. It did get out as far as 11 points before the Taipans hit back and levelled things up. Melbourne United go to the half-time break with a 6-point lead.
Put up 43 points their last 2 games at halftime at John Cain Arena. 23 points versus the Kings, 29 against the Jack Jumpers. So they'll be happy where they're at.
Let's go courtside to Drew Jones.
Yeah, I've got Xavier Rattan-Mays with Xavier's 6-point lead at halftime. Offense getting it going tonight. How's it feeling?
It feels good. We wanted to come out here and make a statement defensively first. And I think our defense was able to translate to our offense. We were able to get out in our pace and get some easy ones.
You're leading the team in every category this season. What are you preparing going into a game knowing you've got to be big for this team?
Just to come out here and be myself. Come out here and do a great job of helping lead, but also being a great follower with CG and Barlow and Newells and those guys. So just trying to do whatever I can to help us win.
Cairns have shown a real attitude and a real appetite on the road this season. You hold them off, and what's the key?
They're going to make shots. We just got to go do a great job of running them off the three-point line, being solid in our stance, being the second one off the ground. And we know they're going to make our run. We just got to withstand and make ours.
Making shots, defense, what's the key second half?
Defense, that's it. Being great in transition, limiting their threes in transition, and doing a great job on offensive end of getting great shots, getting the second side actions.
X, we appreciate your time. Good luck.
Thank you.
Great insights from a great player. Half-time in the Hungry Jacks NBL. It's United 43, the Taipans 37. Jack's halftime highlights. We've seen the 3-ball again, a feature of the Taipans game, but Damon Lowry, Melbourne United, looking for a big performance on its home floor, leading by 6 at the halftime break. What have you liked so far?
Well, they have showed patches of having a real direction where they want to go with the ball. They've made Isaac Humphries a target a few times, more than what they've done in the past. They've also got the ball in transition. They got some stops. They got out and ran. So they look good when they're doing that. There's times when they shoot themselves in the foot with kind of one-pass offense or too much dribbling. But for the most part, they are trending in the right direction.
Chris Golding, he was a focus tonight coming in, hasn't had the impact of late that he would have liked at home. What have you made of his game?
I like more movement that he's been doing. Like, he's came off a couple of pin downs. He come off a couple of turnouts where the defense actually has to chase him. And then when you're chasing Chris Golding, now you're kind of at his mercy a little bit. So he got up a couple of nice threes that way. They missed him a few times, but Chris still looks a little bit more lively than usual.
So they're the halftime stats. The margin at 6. Field goal percentage, certainly Melbourne United vastly better than Cairns Taipans. To this stage, the margin was 11 points in the second quarter. The Taipans did level things up before United got on top again towards the back end. Pete Hooley is over at the Analyzer, as he always is at halftime. What have you noticed for us, Pete?
Well, I've noticed a bit from both teams, but let's firstly take a look at the defensive end from the Cairns Taipans. They're a really strong defensive unit, led from this man here, Bull Quoll. This is what happens. No true point guard for Melbourne United with Shea Ili out. Xavier Rattan-Mays is going to be the guy who brings the ball up, makes plays happen. Watch his ability not to let Rattan-Mays touch the ball. What they want is somebody else to have to come and get it and then play point guard out of position. Bull Quoll face guarding Rattan-Mays. Jordan Caroline comes in, tries to set a rub screen, doesn't make contact. So here they go. They've taken it out of the playmaker's hands right here. When you've got all this going on over here, Jordan Caroline, 4-man, not a playmaker. McQuatch, not a playmaker. Bull Quoll still fronting Rattan-Mays. In the end, they just kind of have to break it off, Melbourne United, try and make a play. They get downhill, nothing happens. On the flip side, this is probably the poorer defense from the Cairns Taipans. You've got to know that when you've got Chris Golding, you've got to stay attached, or as a big Keanu Pinder, you can't leave too much separation on this screen from Isaac Humphries. So Isaac Humphries sprints up. Keanu Pinder does a good job to stop here, but this is what happens when you've got a playmaker of Chris Golding's calibre. He's going to just walk to his spot here, and Keanu Pinder makes the mistake of retreating rather than staying at that level. That's too much space for Chris Golding because he gets off a 3, hit another one immediately after that. We have a look at this. Immediately called a timeout. Then they wanted to get the ball to the big fella in Isaac Humphries. So they ran this play, they threw it down to him, and just watch everybody's movement here. You've got Malawatch in the corner, David Aquera, Brad Newley, and Ray John Tucker. They keep all the weak side defense active, but really keep an eye on this man here, David Aquera. He's going to get down to the dunker's spot, sneak underneath. Really good pass from Isaac Humphries. They keep everything occupied. Aquera gets around. Everybody's head's on a swivel. Little dump-off pass. Easy basketball. We haven't seen too much from that executing on the half-court offense from United. Dean Vickerman will be thrilled.
Love your work, Pete. Outstanding stuff. Great to have Pete Hooley with us at the Analyzer. We've got a chance to win $50,000 this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial. Let's find out how.
Hey fans, this season with thanks to Latrobe Financial, we are giving away a guaranteed $50,000. And like these NBL legends, Wortho and Gibbo, you could be a Latrobe Financial legend. All you need to do is send in a clip of you making a half-court shot for your chance to win a semifinals opportunity to shoot from half court for $50,000. All thanks to Latrobe Financial. Head to the NBL website now to enter.
Thursday night hoops in the Hungry Jacks NBL 37-43. Melbourne United lead the Cairns Taipans at John Cain Arena. It is pumping here, and if Cairns do want to win, they're going to have to defy history. United have won the last 9 clashes between these teams here. The last time the Taipans won at John Cain Arena, Boxing Day, back in 2019. So an interesting item coming out in News Corp this week about some player salaries. They're being made public, the rich list, if you will. Boys, what did you make of it?
Well, it was an interesting one, wasn't it? And look, firstly, I think the big credit for everybody who perhaps doesn't understand it, the Players Association involved with this. And I think there's the pros and cons to both sides of having it released. I mean, for one, for those who are perhaps a little shocked of some of the player salaries, we want the NBL to be as enticing as possible for some of the best talent in the world, both homegrown and overseas, to come and show their craft on the biggest stage in Australia.
Every sport in the world, you pretty much know what guys are getting paid. So I don't see the big deal myself. I mean, if a club is embarrassed by what they're paying people, well, you know what, that's their fault. If they want to pay a guy the 9th or 10th man, chump change, if you will, if they don't want that out there, they shouldn't do it. So I'm all for salaries being posted. We're professional. We're top 3 league in the world. Why not?
And what it did show is the growth of this competition, that you now have players who are pushing up towards that $1 million a season mark. So the top-end players in the NBL are now earning what you would earn at the top end of the AFL or the NRL. That's got to have changed a bit since you came into this competition in 2001, Damon Lowry.
I thought I was rich when the Hawks gave me 45 grand that first year. I thought I was low.
Per game, though, back then. that was per free throw. But no, that's exactly right. I mean, the Players Association done a terrific job in the way they've negotiated and done this for the players. The flip side of it is the con is the current society and social media is it opens that can of worms for perhaps if you're underperforming, that those Twitter trolls and keyboard warriors want to get stuck into players. And I mean, that's just the downfall of society in general, which is unfortunate.
So the second half underway. Matt Logue with that story that he broke in News Corp. Interestingly, Tan Mays, you cannot give him an open look like that. He's going to knock it down every time. Interestingly, the NBL at the end of every season does give a list of all of the salaries to every club. So I'm kind of surprised that this information hasn't found its way into the public domain previously.
Well, it is, and there's Woudenberg trying to keep that one alive. But even before that, they talk about the team salaries and a lot of people saying that teams each year buy championships. Well, I think all leagues and all sports have proven that you've got to spend money to get the best talent possible. And I think the NBL's done a terrific job at making, people want to call it loopholes, but it's not. It's the rules of trying to get the highest quality and reward the people who deserve to be paid the big bucks. And if they show up and perform, and that's the reason why.
That's called performing right there. Rajon Tucker.
Tucker's been way more disciplined offensively, I think, today. He's turned down a couple of wide-open threes because obviously he's probably shooting sub 30%, but he's been patient. And then when he gets his chance to attack and get downhill, then his natural talent comes out. He looks a whole lot better.
Equal game high, 11-point lead. United. Bull Quoll trying to do something about it.
First foul. Foul's 43, 4-3, hand check.
So foul called on Chris Golding. 52.8% from the field, Melbourne United. And the Taipans, 33.3.
There's Dean Vickerman. He's the current active, most experienced coach in the NBL. 268 games, 63% win record is Keanu Pinder. Well, there's that burst of athleticism. This is exactly what I was speaking a little bit about. If you let Keanu Pinder face up with his back to the basket, you let him turn into a guard, how quick his first step is, that jab, the little throw down left to right, he's gone. There's not too many bigs, true centers who can stay in front of him. Like I talk about true centers, not the Xavier Cooks who slides down and plays small ball. If you let him face up, it's a wrap.
It's a mismatch, so they got to have some help. What's the rule when Keanu's got Isaac on an island like that? So they got to come over and give him some help when he puts the ball on the floor at least. But on the other end, you got to get Isaac to go back at Keanu because they both can be very foul prone. But if Keanu is only allowed to play one end of the floor, that helps Cairns.
Here comes Jordan Caroline for Isaac Humphries. Isaac Humphries going to sit down with 3 fouls, and it's a better matchup in terms of athleticism-wise and moving your feet. But you've got to close that gap, not allow Pinder to turn around and turn into a guard.
We had a rule once back in the day Gonna shout out my old championship teammate, Axel Dench, who was our Rookie of the Year that year. Axel's perimeter defense, it wasn't the best. So we had a code. We called it Code Red. Anytime you tried to ISO Axel, the whole team knew, get over there and get ready to help because they about to beat him off the dribble. You got to help your teammates like that. Right now, the United didn't help Isaac at all, but they're going to say after the game, he's got to stay out of foul trouble. Well, they got to help him stay out of foul trouble, don't they?
Chris Goulding fires and finishes.
That's a breakdown. Yeah, that should not happen, but it's like 3 screens for the Chris Goulding, and he's starting to feel good. He's breaking out of that little slump. He was 2 of 14 from 3 leading into this game in the last 2 games. Well, he's 4 of 6 tonight.
What can Bull Quoll do? No, he can't emulate the feats of Goulding.
That time Goulding came down and doubled Keanu, made him give the ball up. They forced a miss.
Now a chance for Tucker.
That's the found the back of Jordan Caroline. That's Rattan Mays. Just the lack of awareness to know. Chris Goulding just hit one. He had a chance to be open again. Doesn't matter where he is in the half court. That ball's got to go to him. You've got to let him get up. And at least a couple more to check the heat.
Anytime Xavier's on the bench, I want him sitting right next to D-Mac. So D-Mac can just learn from one of the best point guards who have ever done it in Australia. In situations like that, like you just said, you missed a wide open Goulding. He could have got hot.
Wide open Bull Quoll. Short.
4 of 16. 4 of 16 tonight. All the Taipans.
It's not happening for them. 45%. Right hand floated from Tucker, showing his class.
Only happens because of the breakdown in communication where they send 2 guys to Chris Goulding because they're worried about him getting open, and Tucker ends up getting some of the easiest points that he'll get in the league.
Adam Ford's got to do something about this. He intervenes with the timeout. Their 3-point percentage hasn't been where they want it to be tonight. Cairns, it was 22% against Perth, 32.5% against Sydney in that win where they ended the Kings' undefeated start to the season. Well, Drew Jones has been out and about. Who have you found, Drew?
Check.
Who's up your sleeve here?
Al, this is Sushi Mango, who kept us all entertained. Thank the Lord for that during lockdown. Comedy trio and absolute superstars, Joe, Carlo, and Andrew. Joe, I'm going to start with you.
Yeah.
Break down the basketball for us. Entertaining game here.
It's been good. You know, the guys are winning, so we're excited, and hopefully they do a 3-point dunk.
Okay, I like it. That's a new one.
I'm going to tell you, they're such great athletes. You know, I watch them on the court, and I pull a hamstring, you know what I mean?
Carlo, new movie coming out. Can you tell us about it?
Yeah, Wog Boys Forever. It's actually in cinemas. Been in cinemas for 3 weeks. It's obviously the 3rd installment of Wog Boys movie, and it's doing really well. It's broken some records. 2nd biggest independent film in Australia.
No, it's the biggest independent.
Biggest independent film. It's the biggest movie you'll ever see in your life, basically.
You guys are killing it. Now, Andrew, I just want to know, you've got the 2 brothers here. How do you end up tagging along?
I normally end up, I carry the luggage, I carry their bags, I get them their drinks, you know, I manage.
Carries
You know,
the salami.
You've got the guns to carry around the bags, that's for sure. Boys, we appreciate it. We love your work.
Go Melbourne! Go!
Back to you, boys.
Good on you, Drew. He carries the salami. What comedic troupe doesn't get round all of their gigs with a lump of salami?
Well, 3-point dunk. They'll be waiting a long time to see that.
Oh, dear. So Goulding's had a good night.
This is going up.
You know him well.
Well, he had the mismatch in Wardenberg, but Wardenberg did a pretty good job. You don't want to let him settle for a 3. He's knocked down 4. You stay attached to him, not let him pull back. He loves a little step back from the right to left crossover. That's not his fault. You've done your job as a mismatch with a big on Chris Goulding to send him past you. Somebody's got to be there to step up.
Absolutely. Underrated part of Chris's game, the way he can put the ball on the floor and get to the rack. Everybody sells out for his 3-point shot, and then he gets something easy.
This needs to go. And it does. Scott with an important 3 points.
He was excellent in that game, that win against the Kings, filling it up, and he's doing it again. 9, 5, and 4. Had 16, 6, and 5 against the Sydney Kings with no Tajir McCall. And look, he's out for a little bit with the hit. Don't be surprised if when he comes back, they nurse him into it, maybe coming off the bench for a little, and maybe that helps open his game up a little bit.
I'm definitely calling for Shannon Scott to be starting at the point. As much as I like Tajir McCall, he's not a point guard. He's a playmaker. And there's a difference between a point guard and a guy that just dribbles the ball up the floor. Shannon Scott is actually a point guard. And the team flows a whole lot better offensively when he's got the keys.
And the Amy replay showing more of what Cairns Taipans fans want to see. Chris Golding wasn't happy with the previous out-of-bounds call going against United. Referee deeming it had come off the shoulder.
Hand-checking.
Players aren't often happy with calls that go against them, whether they've done
That's a
something
very
wrong.
good point, Pete. You're speaking from experience.
No, it's did plenty wrong. But this is where the Taipans can be dangerous. They just hang around and they can just explode at any point and really put some points on the board. Let's not forget that those are both against Tasmania and against the Phoenix on this court where they just put the game to bed.
Pinder. Caroline's hustle. Golding's finish. This time he's knocking him down tonight.
We got a coaching chess match going on right now. United was going at in transition. Nice one by Keanu. Shannon Scott assist. The United identified Sam Wardenberg was a mismatch. So they were setting on-ball screens to get him on an island. What does 40 do? Takes him out of the game, puts him a junk ding out there on the floor. So now let's see how United respond.
Pinder's up to 16 points.
It's going to be a quick time out here from Dean Vickerman. Just 2 bad possessions in a row. This is what the Snakes do. Hang around.
14 points was the margin, cut back to 7. So they just keep coming at you. The Cairns Taipans. If they could claim victory here, it would be their 4th on the road this season. What have you got for us this time, Drew?
It's our triple premiership coach for the Tigers, Damien Harvick, with us. Damien, you were saying to me before you haven't been to a game for a while. What's your impressions of the game tonight?
Yeah, it's great. Look, I love any sort of live sport, so it's great to be a part of it, great to be here. And I grew up with basketball in the 80s, so it's great that it's building again, which is really exciting, I think.
Are you enjoying your time off, or you're not having any time off?
No, a little bit of time off. Just got back from Bali, which was great. But, yeah, back into work next week, get a few things sorted, and then I'll head back to the States for about a month after that. So I'll take most of December off. They're sick of my voice, the boys, so I'll leave it to the assistants.
Are you doing anything special with any sporting clubs over in the US?
I'll do a couple of things. There's a couple of things I like to keep between myself, sort of thing, but it's always good to just get a couple of new ideas and a bit of inspiration to come back and sort of reinvigorate the players. So looking forward to it.
Just quickly, Jacob Hopper and Tim Taranto, a couple of new toys to play with.
Yeah, very exciting. The man in front of me, Blair Hartley's done a wonderful job to bring those players to the club, and nothing better than a coach with new toys, so can't wait till they get started.
Damien, appreciate your time.
Good to see you, mate. Thanks.
Damien Hardwick, he's got the 3 premierships. Dean Vickerman's got the 3 championships as a head coach.
Oh, Dimmer, and is Dimmer another nickname given to him? Shout out Bureau Meteorology. You don't get to choose your own nickname. That has been given to you and will stay with you no matter how much you try to fight it.
Jeric has made a decent contribution, getting a bit of tick tonight.
He has. He's been patient. He hasn't got a lot of playing time like we said earlier this season. So for him to come out here and stay himself and be aggressive is good to see.
9-0 run for the Cairns Taipans. Golding wants to do something about that, kicks it out to Tucker. Doesn't take the open 3, Golding will. And the clock ticked down. It was well off from Chris Golding. Pinder runs the floor and draws the foul. Dean Vickerman is not happy.
They're long steps, they're long.
Even though Rajan Tucker, he turned that shot down. Sometimes, Pete, even though you're not shooting well from out there, you don't really have a lot of confidence, sometimes that's the shot you still have to take.
Well, it is.
Because Golding did all the hard work, sucked the defense in, kicked it out to you, then you don't shoot it, and then it led to chaos.
Foul was on Pinder, who strangely has got more fouls, 3 personal fouls, than rebounds in this game so far. That's the 2 rebounds. He's averaging 10 this season. Here he is, going to work.
That's what I talk about with Keanu Pinder. If you allow him to be a guard playing in the centre position, he is going to make you pay. Dean Vickerman going straight to the bench to bring substitutions in. He's too good at putting the ball on the floor, and now he's become such a balanced player around the rim. He's got the Euro step, he's got the quick spin. Whenever he gets deep enough, he really composes himself and is starting to finish. 18 points already on the night. And look, if we were to probably end the season right now, he's arguably a top 3 MVP candidate.
Hey, big call.
Who else?
Oh.
You got Bryce Cott and Xavier Cooks leading the way. Gary Wallen Jr. to be up there, but you have a look around. It's very early.
It's early. I'm happy to put him in my first team. But can we just go back, Pete, to the possession before? This is when you're playing with fire. Xavier Raton Mays comes down, gets into his bag, nobody touches the ball, and he takes a shot and misses. This is bad offense. You got to. It's all about timing. Yes, Xavier can score doing that, but is this the time to do it? So they say a bad shot is just like a turnover, and that's what that led to. Cano in transition, all the momentum gone for the United. We got ourselves a game.
We have a coach's challenge here. If you ever wanted proof of Keanu Pinder, how respected and incredible his rise is now, he has called for this, and Adam Ford has listened to him. There is absolutely zero chance Adam Ford has seen that from where he's standing. He is putting 100% total faith in his superstar, and he's probably going to win it.
Looks like he's going to win it, too. Looks like that's off noodle.
And we'll find out, but knowing our luck, it'll probably not go our way.
I know Mark Slocum's good with the stats, but I'm not sure he's keeping account of how many times you two have had a different view on the coach's challenge.
This right here, this happens in the NBA a little bit with their challenge, because so many times you see where if it's a crossover, say someone goes to cross it over, the defender gets a hand on it and forces the ball out. But because of the momentum and the way the ball's going, it's obviously going to come off the other player. Now, the defender clearly forced it out. They're saying there, Keanu Pinder clearly forced that ball out. And it looked like the angle, it came off Brad Newley, but because of the way he's trying to bring it back, I guess a bit of the benefit of the doubt. I think we're 0-3, all three of us got that wrong.
I'll just stay quiet and let you two do it. Now, the margin is only 3 here. This is a game that you can't take your eyes off. Newley! And the defensive rebound with Pinder. Humphries was there. Scott, a thought, a second thought. It was the right thought.
There's
scores level.
Sorry, Al, there's nobody out there on the floor for Isaac to guard. This is when you got 2 opposing styles. So, okay, there's a mismatch on one end. Looks like Golden just got himself an offensive foul.
Will I? Nah. Yep.
They got to punish him on the other end. There's a mismatch on the other end with Isaac, but he's not getting his opportunities right now. This is what Dean talked about midweek, about how we got to get more touches into Isaac, and right now the United they let him starve a little bit.
They did it in the first half. They made that focal point. I highlighted on the screen of just some sets they were running.
Oh, yes! What a way to go to the lead.
It's just too easy right now. On the offensive end, simple pick and roll basketball. Throw it up there, Keanu Pinder. He'll go and get it.
Have not led since the first quarter. The Cairns Taipans, and late in that first quarter.
Had all the time in the world. He had time to get the runway clear, set his feet, take off, and just tuck it in ever so tightly. Is that a dunk?
No, that is not a dunk. Sorry, Cano. Even though we know you, that's definitely not a dunk. But you know what? That pick and roll defense right there. If you got Isaac Humphries on the floor, he's not on the floor right now for defense, so he's got to be on the floor for offense.
I know, but you got to.
But he's going nuts on the sideline. I don't see that part of the play.
Exactly.
So Chris Golding has been given a technical foul here, but because the sub had already been made for him, Dean Vickerman and the bench are going to wear that technical foul. So he was unhappy with the offensive foul that he got called on with Mirko Jeric down the other end, and that kind of just snowballed into that. And now Dean Vickerman's got to tread carefully.
This is where you get your payback.
You can see that hustle from Pinder. Mays.
And that's the opposite of, again, what I highlighted at halftime, when they threw it down to him and all 4 other offensive players kept moving. They kept all the other defenders occupied. Every single one of them stood still. So if you're the Cairns defense, you've got Keanu Pinder playing one-on-one. The other 4 are just locked in their space, and they get a turnover off a long shot.
Well, they thought he was going to go to work, Pete, and he didn't. So, Isaac, this is what happens sometimes. If you don't keep feeding the guy, all of a sudden he loses his rhythm. So now you give it to him in the block. He's not really ready to go to work because he hadn't had it in a while. So now he's tentative. So everybody stood around, and he was hoping somebody would move for him. This is when he got to stay aggressive.
This is a huge momentum shift. A 17-0 run in the last 4 minutes. The Cairns Taipans were 14 down. Oh yeah!
This is what
Matt
they can do.
Ding.
Look, whoever your team is in NBL23, your second favourite team is the Cairns Taipans because of what they can do, how quickly they can flick a switch. Unless, of course, you're a Taipans fan, then they'd be number one, I'd hope.
20-0 run here. Malawatch.
Darton Isaac.
Into the paint.
That's a charge. That's a great take from Ben Air.
Come on. Ben Air is down there in the post with Isaac Humphries.
That's just a tough shot. That's pretty well defended, the big-to-big switch. And right here, Ben Air steps in front, feet out of the charge circle. That's a charge every day of the week. The United have to stop the bleeding.
This quarter can't finish quick enough for the United.
Pinder works his way into the paints, and that goes as well.
He's too good in that situation.
Send help. It's not gonna work.
He is playing inspired basketball.
Pete, what are we doing? We got to double him.
Made his Boomers debut this season and is absolutely feeding in NBL23.
Malawatch kicks it out. Back inside, Humphries.
That's what he's got to do to even this thing out. That is exactly what he has to do.
And even still, you mentioned that's what he has to do. The offense still has to move to be able to allow him to go one-on-one. Because if you let him see bodies in front, he's thinking, look, if I get past Keanu Pinder, I've still got to then get past a DJ Hogue, or if Ben Air's going to come and take a charge. Is that a Ford? Put that back in, sir. This is Thursday Night Hoops.
They need to do something here desperately. Humphries at the line. 25-0 run, the Kings against Melbourne United earlier in the season. This now at 22, and that's where it ends. They just aren't able to stem the flow when a team starts to feel good about itself at the moment.
And it just screams the importance of Shea Ili, because now you bring Shea Ili back. Not only can he make some momentum changes on the defensive end, but they can put this man right here, Ratan Mays, to the 2 and run him off screens rather than making him have to make plays. He's a scoring guard. He is not a pass-first guard. That's not where he's at his best. So to be able to move him to the 2 spot and let him unlock the game where he's made a career out of.
The hustle there from Ratan Mays will give Melbourne United a chance to win the ball. Can they mount something here?
That's okay.
Malawatch.
I think the watcher just got this thing got away with one of the greatest travels of all time. He just caught it and just walked backwards. He knocked down the 3, but you're right, Pete. You can just tell without a true point guard on the floor, anything can happen with the United coming down the court. You just don't know what you're going to get. And it's hard to break a habit. It's these guys' tendencies to stand around and watch one guy pound the ball. Without a true point guard out there to get that ball moving and let everybody know what needs to be done, it's hit or miss.
So Humphries substituted out.
Ready? 18 on the shot. Here we go.
You can feel the tension. Melbourne United was 14 points in front. These Road Warriors, the Cairns Taipans, Ben Air, nowhere near it. So maybe a chance for Melbourne United to find something back the other way. Just before the 3/4 time break, Ratan Mays gets busy in the paint but loses the handle on the ball. Wardenberg, I suspect, was after the buzzer with the shot anyway. 3/4 time and the Taipans have taken the lead in extraordinary fashion. Hungry Jacks NBL, we've got a thriller coming up. It's 63-59 to the Taipans. performance from the Cairns Taipans to get themselves not only back in the game from 14 down, but to steal the lead from Melbourne United. And Peter Hawley, Damon Lowry, NBL Championship winners. Keanu Pinder, as we expected, has been so key.
And if Keanu Pinder's incredible rise has taught you anything, it is that for all the young kids out there, situational, wherever you play at, is so key to your success. And Adam Ford, I'm not saying that he wouldn't have had this incredible rise anywhere else, but the fact that he did it with Adam Ford, a past relationship, unlocked his true potential. It's an incredible thing for us all to be able to witness.
Absolutely. Talk about a system working for a guy. I mean, talk about putting a guy in his areas of strength and just backing him. Keanu is just loving life right now the way he's playing. He's scoring from inside, outside. The offense, it doesn't revolve around him, but he's just such a focal point.
If you need something to happen, Rajon Tucker's just set the tone right there. What do you think Dean Vickerman would have been saying to his players?
Oh, it's on the defensive end, first and foremost. That's going to help. Little turnover there. Retain Mays and Ben Air. Oh. Just having a few words to each other.
Yeah, Ben Air ain't taking a backward step.
Just so
He like a kangaroo. He can't go backwards.
This match up like a hawk. So don't even think about anything that's going to go on.
You can call me a pussy.
Whatever little things you want to say to us.
Things are getting heated.
Well,
and that is showing the tension within the game, the importance of the result.
Well, I didn't think we needed to bring cats into it.
Yeah, calm down, Vaughn. Hey, you know what? Dean, I think, said in that three-quarter timeout, he looked at D-Mac and said, can you suit up? I need a point guard out here on the floor to guarantee I'm going to get a good shot when I come down. Right now, it's hit or miss. Tucker's trying to get downhill. Up 4 in a row for Tucker.
He levels things up with back-to-back buckets in this final quarter.
And if they move the ball and get some body movement and Tucker can attack like that after the ball has already moved a few times, I got no problem with it.
Ben Air underneath. Wardenberg with the finish. What are you noticing courtside in terms of the general vibe between the two teams, Drew Jones?
Yeah, it's really interesting. I've been watching Chris Goulding real closely. A lot of words with the officials. Frustrated at the moment. He's doing his best for his team, but he is certainly disappointed with the officiating.
Well, I think that just stems from he's frustrated that we've highlighted it, Damon. He's hit 2 threes and come back down after they've got to stop. So Cairns have missed a shot, and he's trailed into a wide open 3 that for years has been his bread and butter. If he hits a 3, you've got to run a play for him again, and been looked off or not seen. That's not what happens when Chris Goulding hits a shot. You've got to get him another one as soon as possible.
Exactly, and it's not his personality to be yelling and screaming at guys to pass me the ball.
Retain Mays puts Melbourne United in front. They have come out hot in this final quarter.
That's not to say he's thrilled with the referee. We know he likes to get stuck into them as well, but that's just normal. But this is what Retain Mays can do. And see, Ben Air was in the background. He was throwing his water bottle. There's certain players that you just don't want to get under their skin because they can kind of flick a switch. We saw that the other night where a few words were said to Craig Randall from Adelaide. And, well, we saw how that ended in the fourth quarter.
He got going good and proper. Bull Quol's getting going here. And the big block over the back from Rajon Tucker. Melbourne United, full of confidence it seems.
That's 3 seconds in the key because there's a lot of standing around.
Yes.
A lot of standing around just
waiting
watching.
for the pass.
Have a look at this block again. Rajon Tucker times it perfectly.
An athlete.
Absolutely volleyball spikes that.
Jordan Caroline tried to seal just then. He's trying to get himself involved, but he didn't realize that Xavier actually had just hit the last bucket and he's ready to go one-on-one. So this is just 2 guys who are not on the same page.
Speaking of the block, a couple of the contestants in the house tonight. Omar and Oss.
How would you go on the block? You fancy?
We'll come dead last.
Yeah, we get a free house out of it.
Ryan Brockhoff, based on his cubby house building abilities, I wouldn't be trusting him with the paint anytime soon.
Can confirm as DJ Hogue tees one up, and that's a good body rebound. Ryan Brockhoff did 2 things for that entire cubby house just to get the filming done. His wife did the rest. Retain Mays is filling it up. No matter what you talk about as a true point guard, he is a flat-out scorer. That is how he's always played, and that is what he does best.
10-2 run to start the quarter for Melbourne United. They've looked a different team, to be frank.
Whichever team, Al, can string together 3 disciplined minutes of good offense and solid defense will win this game. They both taking turns playing sloppy basketball, and it just so happens that now it's Cairns' turn to slop it up. So right now, United's taking advantage of some bad offense, and like I said, 7.5 minutes to go. We'll see who the most disciplined team will win this game.
Oh, wow, 0 of 7, has not scored.
Terrich, he's liked the look of those long-range shots tonight.
It's a nice little weapon, Adam Ford, to have in his back pocket. As Derich finds his range, look out.
7 minutes to go. Don't take your eyes off this contest for a second. Tucker, they're all dropping now.
Wow. I don't know if that's how Dean drew it up, but hey, 3 points is 3 points.
Scott has a turn. He misses. Long. Rattan Mays. Caroline.
He's been asking for it.
Kicks it out. Rattan Mays.
Oh,
steps back.
Cannot have this dance. Got to knock that one down. That's going to call a foul on Jordan Caroline. You like the hustle.
24.
Points won't count.
You live with that if you're ball call. Late contest. John Tucker. It's just his first 3 of the night.
Sometimes that 3-point, the one when the shot clock is at 1 is the easiest 3-pointer to take because you can't do nothing else with it but shoot it.
Well, now we see the replay. Jordan Caroline has every reason to be frustrated with that call. There's a bit of mayonnaise on that from Shannon Scott.
Bull Qual still can't get one to go.
What do you reckon, Pete? First team to 80 wins?
Well, the way this game's going, I'm all for the Elam ending here. Turn the clock off. Let's just go. See who wants to play some defense down the stretch.
Chris Goulding setting things up. Working his way towards the rim. Beautiful finish. And the timeout called. United 74, the Taipans 68. So things getting interesting here. The Taipans had all the momentum. Howard has swung back Melbourne United's way at the start of this final quarter. This intervention might be quite key.
This
Taipans need to settle and come again.
Sorry, Al, this is when your playmakers really can... The game suits it now. Like I said, it's always about timing. When do you do it? When do you go one-on-one? All of a sudden, you get guys make a couple shots, Xavier gets hot, defense starts to creep up a little bit more, and it's just between Tucker, Goulding, and Rajan. Them 3 guys are taking all the shots for these last 6 minutes, Pete.
Well, they're going to have to. You want your superstars to step up, and you're going to play some defense still because Cairns can tick the scoreboard over in a flash. Not going to come down to this last 6 minutes, and then we get an overtime.
We've just seen so many momentum swings. This ain't done yet, you can tell. 74-68 as it stands at the moment. A real ball game on our hands at John Cain Arena. The urgency in that huddle.
So this is here again. This happened twice. DJ Hogue, he's doing his job. He is forcing Chris Goulding off the 3. He doesn't bite on anything. Look how he stays attached. Sends Chris Goulding inside the 3-point line. Someone's got to meet him early. If you're the Taipans, as a big, when you're stuck on Chris Goulding, you are doing the right job. Keanu Pinder had another one where you don't get caught creating space, let him get a 3 off. Someone's got to have you big fellas back.
Pete, I'm going to disagree with you with all due respect. Yes, he take him off the 3-point line, but he gave him a straight line drive to the basket. Nothing good happens when you let a guy get into the key that easy.
Pinder, has he got a big 6 minutes in him?
Dean is trusting Jordan out here with these minutes. He's giving Jordan Caroline a chance to prove, can he stay here on this team?
And just the body language, you can see how much pressure he feels under, how flat he feels. Drew Jones, what did you hear during the time out there?
Dean Bickman saying, let's lose the whole shot clock. Let's use every single second. Let's not just chuck up anything when there's 5 seconds left. Trust the offense, trust the work they've done during the week.
Good luck with that.
Gotcha, Nate. Yep, we're here. Come on, guys.
So Rattan Mays, the ball out of bounds. Taipans will have possession.
He's also going with Jordan Caroline this late in the game because he doesn't trust Isaac Humphries out there right now on deep. Plain and simple.
It's as we mentioned all game, it is a mismatch just because of the ability for Pinder. He's not going to be just a bang-bang body down low, use his strength. He's very crafty.
Scott guarded closely.
Outside shoulder. 2-0.
Foul called on Barlow.
That Barlow looks confused, but can confirm that some of the strongest shoulders going around.
Yeah, he's not.
The whole core, to be honest, is one piece of work.
He's not a weak man.
He turns 39 on Saturday. Dave Barlow, 5 NBL titles to his name. He's been around the block a few times and wasn't initially expected to go around the block again, but Pinder. That's the defense they want from Caroline, but Pinder gets it back. Hogue loses it. Caroline fights for his life. Maybe his NBL life. Tucker.
Oh, what hustle.
Oh, this is Caroline. Oh, this is Caroline. That's got to go in.
It doesn't go. It's short.
Wow.
Caroline deserved it to drop.
Didn't what? Caroline and then Tucker. Just a burst of speed to catch that. I've never seen Chris Goulding turn down a momentum 3, a dagger like that before.
Scott's with the jumper. And the margin back to 4 with 4.5 to go.
Let's put the stat man to work. We need to know who is the oldest player to play these kind of minutes what Barlow is getting. You say Barlow's 38?
That's me 39.
39 on Saturday.
Well, I need to know who is older than him getting these major minutes like this.
Well, last week he played 27 minutes 44. It was his most minutes since 2019, so in 85 games. He's meant to be putting his feet up. Here is Barlow, and it rattles out. The putback, though.
Oh, pogo stick. Straight up. Ray John Tucker. They've just got a little bit more energy about them this last couple of minutes at Melbourne United.
Still plenty of time for the Taipans, but they're stiffening up in defense. Hogue's shot is short. Pinder, though, hopeful. That's a very physical challenge from Wartenberg.
One hit.
Look at this. Landing in Chris Goulding's lap. Caroline, a little dump off.
The ball up. We've already got a warning.
Dave Barlow misses, and Ray John Tucker just out jumps everybody. Straight up.
Second delay game. Second delay game.
Goulding got an ass rebound. I ain't like that. That's rare. You don't get many of those.
We already gave the warning in the
Tucker's 18 points. I reckon we might have a tech foul on our hands here.
This is the delay of game. So they've had a warning for delay of game, and now they're going to have a technical foul because there's already been a warning.
One shot. He shot the ball after the foul. And we gave a warning. We gave a warning early in the game.
Oh, who shot it?
Hogue.
Adam Ford, because Adam Ford was asking what was going on, and
every point so critical now. 4 minutes to go, 6 the lead.
Tell you what,
that's shown they'll keep on rolling the dice.
That reaction would be a lot different had that free throw gone down.
Rajon Tucker with 18 points. That's his biggest tally. Newley likes the look of it, wide open.
So that little 2-guard ball screen, they run that a lot, and it's designed to do exactly what it did. They want to cause confusion on whether they're going to switch.
Scott's! That's a big bucket.
Dean comes back with Humphries. Xavier Raton-Mays just missed a wide open Humphries on the possession before. They come down and put him in a pick and roll, and he gives up a triple straight away. I think Dean put him back out there because he thinks maybe Sam Wartenberg is Isaac's matchup.
The Taipans strong on D, and Scott's got another look perhaps. He wants support. It comes in the form of Ding. Shots long.
Wow, dodged a bullet. Majuk Ding in transition, a walk-in 3. He can't believe he missed that.
This season with our friends at Latrobe Financial, the generosity of them, we're giving away $50,000. Enter now, nbl.com.au/legends, or jot down the website. Give it 3 minutes or so and enter then, because I don't think you want to be taking your eyes off this game. 3 points the margin.
Absolutely anything can happen right now.
Under 3 minutes to go. John Cain Arena. Fans on the edge of their seats. Goulding having a much better game. Humphries inside, can't get it to go, and Pinder with the rebound. Keanu Pinder. a rising star. Great D there from Caroline, but he gets another look. Scott. Pinder again. Brilliant.
Caroline, exceptional defense for 99% of it. Fell asleep once the shot went up. Counter Pinder, he's not giving up. Oh, he's got 24 points on the night to go along with 6 rebounds, 3 assists.
Caroline worked hard, muscled his way through the paint, but couldn't get it to go. And that's tells the story of his season so far, really.
5 on 4. Still 5 on 4.
And Team Vickman yelling, take one, because trying to get that 5th one back.
Hit.
Defender back, and Chris Golding's only had the 2 fouls, so you can afford to give one.
Push up. Push up.
So 24
Last 2
points,
minutes. Last 2
equal
minutes.
career high now for Pinder. Caroline,
Just over here. Back here, please.
you can't accuse him
Thank
of
you. Hey, last 2 minutes. Don't
not
break the
making
line.
an effort. He's
Automatic.
had
Here
some
we go.
big defensive plays.
His effort's been sensational. You can't knock that. You can see the motion skates a little bit on the bench.
Scott and Pinder and Cairns in front.
Cairns Taipans every time down are going pick and roll at Isaac Humphries.
Well, and Counter Pinder, again, but this is the Taipans. They just flick a switch. Just when you look like Melbourne United, it's just snatch back momentum.
Rajon Tucker, Humphries, back out to Rajon. Closely guarded by Deng. Steps back, shoots, contested 3, doesn't go. And the Taipans with the lead and with the ball with 80 seconds to go.
First team to 80, Pete.
Oh, you said it, and I tell you what, Taipans, last time they got 4 road wins to start a season, 2015. So they're looking to get that one. They've already got 3.
It set up their year. They finished atop the table that year and were beaten in the grand final series. United come up with it. Under a minute to go.
Legit missed 2 bunnies.
And this is where right now, so you've got Tucker playing the point, but you can get it so Rattan Mays can make a play himself after getting the ball through hands a little bit. Right on cue.
Rattan Mays, long with the shots. Hogue the rebound.
No matter what happens, I think, in that situation, you've got Chris Golding has to be in some of the action, whether it's a screen or at least a touch of the ball.
Absolutely.
He's a game breaker.
It's like the team don't know he's on the team. It's like they don't know.
If the Taipans hang on, they'll go to 2nd on the NBL ladder. What a rise. Scott, Pinder, he's done everything. Humphries with the D, and he travels, and United will have the ball.
Big stop.
Well, here we go. So there'll be a timeout here, you think. And they're going to draw off the play. So that's exceptional one-on-one defense. Oh, Isaac Humphries. The pass just probably wasn't there. You've got to get the pass and throw it up to Keanu Pinder. Throw it down to his feet. A bit of a Yorker. They're tough to catch from anybody, let alone a big guy.
Or even just give it to him on the perimeter. Let's ISO Humphries one-on-one. All right, now what are we doing now? United got the last shot of the game.
So
where are we going?
Oh, there, you see that pass there? That's just got to be a little shuffle pass. So they were too close in the end. It gave time for the defense to get there, see? They had to fumble it. It was so low. And look for a little bit of that play where Chris Golding or someone, little guard-to-guard screen to try and cause the confusion of whether they're going to switch the guards or they're going to stay put.
Who do we want to take the last shot?
Well, I think every single time you're going to live with Chris Golding taking the last shot.
Okay, so hopefully in this timeout, everybody knows where we are going. Now, if something breaks down, I'm happy for Chris to make the decision if he can't take that shot to find somebody.
I think that's the side of it. You say everybody knows. Cairns know that too, so they're probably going to be playing for that. So don't be surprised if there is that kind of fake action where maybe he is a bit of a diversion, because Rattan Mays, he's built as a one-on-one scorer. If they can get him to create a little bit of space with a mismatch, you trust that man in the mid-range more than anybody. Rattan Mays is money in the mid-range. So look for that little guard-to-guard brush screen of Chris Golding running into Rattan Mays and seeing how they play off that. They're going to have to go quick. Except for the last shot.
The tension, the drama on a Thursday night at John Cain Arena. The fans are out of their seats. The locals will have the ball to try and construct the final meaningful play, to come up with the winning basket, to turn their fortunes around on their home floor where they've been a little disappointing. Golding's the man. He's stripped of the ball. He appeals to the referees.
Looks like Cairns ball.
Cairns ball.
What Wild hands from Keanu Pinder. That is very well defended. I thought Chris Golding maybe able to let it fly. Have another look here. Keanu Pinder came out, closed it up, and
stripped.
It came off Isaac Humphries. You saw that. They're going to review it. They review it in the last 2 minutes, and Chris Golding had a layup, but Pinder's hands came straight off Isaac Humphries. Now, this game ain't over, because if you foul and send them to the free throw line, there's still plenty of shooters around. But you've got to foul the right way. So
you don't want to give up on no sportsmanlike in this situation. So who are we fouling? This is what you got to know your scouts. You got to know who's the worst, who has the worst free throw percentage, in which they're probably going to take off the court, or probably have them take the ball out of bounds. But you don't have much time. You have to foul whoever gets it. It's only 8 seconds left.
They're not in the bonus yet. So they have to foul a couple of times.
We've got a blue ball.
So again, just to be able to do it the right way. So no hug. So or maybe just confirming with the replay center of who the initial decision was. And definitely looked like it came off Isaac Humphries. And it did. So Cairns Taipans ball.
Last 2 minutes.
DJ Hawk gets the first catch.
Everyone on their feet. Everyone's heart in their mouth.
And that's why, this is why a lot of players get a little bit nervous about trying to foul when you intentionally foul because of the unsportsmanlike. That's where the communication to the referees can be simple. You go up and say, look, either we are going to try and trap first for a couple of seconds, but clearly not in this situation. Look, we're trying to foul, so we're going to go for the ball. We're doing it the right way so that they're aware of it and it becomes as little contact as possible so that you don't get any cause for concern with it being upgraded.
Jeric has had good minutes tonight for the Taipans.
And that's exactly who Cairns wanted on the foul line. DJ was hanging around. He tried to break off on the one before because he knew they had another foul to go, but this is the one they wanted. They got their right guy to the strike.
Well, they're 12 or 14 on the line.
No one's made a free throw in this final quarter. 6 seconds on the clock. Cairns leading by 1.
They've hit 9 of 27 from 3.
DJ Hogue is 6 of 8 on the season from the free throw line. He gets the first.
Melbourne United still have a timeout, so they'll be able to draw something up, advance it, and try and get a good look to potentially send this game to overtime if he makes this one.
It's a hostile environment for DJ Hogue, but he doesn't care.
But net. All righty, Pete. This is my favorite, one of my favorite conversations. Me and Brendan Joyce would often debate this. I'm Cairns. I'm up 3, 7 seconds ago. You think I'm going to let you come down and shoot a 3 and tie this game up and go to OT? No way. I'm fouling you. Well, going to the free throw line. I'm playing the long game.
Look, normally, I'd agree with you, but they've only got 2 team fouls, so they've got to get a few off to even send them to the free throw line. So then you worry about potentially fouling someone in the act of shooting. So that last play that Melbourne United ran out of the timeout, Chris Golding doesn't need much space. Could have teed off if he wanted to. See what they do here. Don't be surprised at all if he is a complete diversion in this play and you get a Rattan Mays or a Dave Barlow spotting up for a 3-ball.
It ain't going to matter because I'm fouling whoever touches the ball until they get into the bonus. I'm not giving up a 3. No way.
Oh, the tension inside the stadium. What is it like, Drew Jones? You're the closest to it all courtside. I reckon it's just about deafening in there at the moment. So they set things up. 7.2 on the clock. Drew, how is it, mate? Give us a sense of the tension inside that stadium at the moment.
Jeez, it is pumping at the moment, boys. Can barely hear self-stick inside John Cain Arena. Looks like the play being run by Dean Vickerman is for Chris Golding to have the shot at the 3.
Yeah, there's no surprise. But how do they get there? Because Taipans know that as well. So there'll be a backup plan in case it's well defended. Look for a couple of screens, even the double screen.
Switch everything and foul.
Keep an eye on Rattan Mays, the inbounder as well.
He's 4 of 8 Golding tonight.
Foul him.
It's Ray Jones.
Oh, no, got him the shot, though.
I told you. And Adam Ford, those glasses wouldn't taste too nice, but that's...
A chance to level things up for Ray John Tucker.
He's 1 of 2 on the night, but that's why you potentially don't do it when you need 2 more to get them in the bonus. And out of all people, you are living. If Ray John Tucker sends a contested 3 to overtime, you're living with it. On the way he shot the 3 this season.
I tell you what, though. It's hard to make 3 free throws in a row late in the game.
Well, it is.
He's at 70% from the free throw line for the season.
He's being iced out here by Vaughn Mabry. He's icing him out. Well, the clock's going to be reset to 6.2, and Adam Ford screaming he's going to miss one.
Thank you. 3 shots.
How this competition gives you entertainment, drama, everything. That is not what the crowd wanted to be given.
Oh, there's still time.
Plenty of time.
They need to knock 2 down, get a quick foul, and you're still going to have plenty of time to be able to get the ball up and shoot a 3 to send it to overtime, but you need to knock down both of these.
It goes.
Here we go. Knock this one down. No timeouts left from either team. Quick foul.
The contrasting approaches of the two coaches. One on the move, one on one knee. Oh, Taipans have the ball through Hogue.
Oh, there's a is that delay a game?
It should be.
5-9.
Ray John Tucker.
But again, when it comes to that, that's the can of worms it opens. And they're going to look at this as being an upgrade to an unsportsmanlike. So it kind of looked like the way Tucker went in early, he was trying to miss it on purpose. I think there's plenty of time. You make it, you're down 1. You get a quick foul, so there's only half a second taken off the clock. They walk down. It gives you 4.5, 5 seconds to get down the length of the floor to put a 3 up to send to overtime.
He didn't miss it on purpose. He just missed.
TJ Hogue is making them when they count. 4 points will be the lead. If he can make this free throw, it's huge for Cairns. He's done it. And good night reflected on the bench as well. Ray John Tucker puts up the 3 ball. No. And Cairns, these road warriors, get the job done on Melbourne United's floor. It's a superb win from 14 points down. And how meaningful it is for these Cairns Taipans, who now rise to 2nd on the table. Brilliant basketball.
Cannot count out these Snakes. Just when it looks like momentum's with every team they've played against so far, they just snatch it back with 60 seconds to 2 minutes of outstanding play. They are going to be so fun to watch all season long. And Melbourne United, well, they had numerous chances to break this game open. They'll be looking back at what went wrong in those crucial moments. Cairns continue their hot start.
Cairns keep it rolling. First team to 80. Cairns got the 81st. It's just the team that makes the least amount of mistakes. The teams that can execute the best and do all the little things tend to win these really tight games. And right now, Melbourne United, yes, they had chances to win, but there's a lot of self-inflicted wounds, Pete. They take the wrong shot at the wrong time. They just give up a bad defensive breakdown at the wrong time, and this is the result.
There's belief in this group. You can see it.
There's an article in NBL23 through the week about Adam Ford talking about that as a player's coach. There he is. That's exactly what it is. It's all about that belief he has in every single player and the players have in themselves. And right now, they're a very fun outfit.
Well, they moved to 4-1 to start the season. 4 wins on the road. That's their best start to a season since 2015 when they finished atop the NBL table. Go back 2 seasons, they finished last. Last season, they finished 9th. So early stages only, but this is a real sign of intent from the Taipans. Let's go to Drew Jones.
Our Footlocker player of the game, Keanu Pinder, and wow, we didn't deliver for Cairns. Congratulations. Your resiliency on the road is simply sensational. How do you keep doing it?
Honestly, we just stick to the game plan, man. Do what 40 tells us to do, and, we keep it rolling.
46 points tonight, another dominant performance from you, but how impressed were you with the team's performance?
Oh, I'm so proud of them guys, man. We fought back, 11 points down, came back and won the game, man. I'm so proud of them guys.
Most improved player in the NBL last season. Getting yourself in towards MVP situations here, Downer.
Yeah, I'm just going to keep working towards it. Whatever comes. I'm just happy to get wins with my team, and I just want to keep on rolling.
4 road wins in a row. You're 2nd on the ladder. Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
What a player he is becoming in this competition. He finishes with 26 points. 8 rebounds in the end, but the 26 points is a career high for him. We're going to wrap it all up on the other side. It's a big win for the Cairns Taipans. They have defeated Melbourne United 81 points to 77. These road wins in the NBL at the moment. Cairns Taipans get it done earlier across the ditch. The Breakers beaten 99 to 77 by South East Melbourne, and that means the Cairns Taipans, with their win tonight, have gone to second on the NBL table. And Shannon Scott, Keanu Pinder, a key part of it. Adam Ford's a key part of it. What he's instilled in this group, the confidence, the freedom to go for those threes. What a night for Shannon Scott. He's the son of an NBA champion, a Hall of Famer, and he's looking at home in the NBL.
Well, I think right now he's cemented himself in that starting point guard spot, not just because he put up 19 points, but he controls the game in such a phenomenal way. I think Adam Ford has really found it. Probably a diamond in the rough. I mean, not many people, when he was signed, everyone was thinking, what kind of player are they going to get? He came off the bench to start the season. He's their starting point guard. For how much success they've had, he took over down the stretch, not just making big plays, scoring the ball, shooting like he did here, but he was passing. He was getting guys involved. He had 9 assists on the night, and the Cairns Taipans continue to roll.
What are they capable of, Damon, in your eyes?
Anything. This team plays with a spirit. Like, there's a spirit about this group. They believe in each other. You see the way they got around Mirko Jarrett just then. He hadn't been playing all season. 40 runs right up to him, gives him a big bear hug. The whole team gets around him. He stayed true to who he is. This team believes in each other. You can just tell there's a spirit there with this group, and anything is possible with this team.
So the Sydney Kings on the end of a Cairns Taipans defeat, the first of their season. Coming up tomorrow night from Kudos Bank Arena, they're up against the 36ers, who are now on the board after their victory over the Hawks. So the Hungry Jacks NBL continuing for you tomorrow night. We've got a beauty tonight. Make sure you tune in.
This program is brought to you by Hungry Jacks and Bunnings Warehouse.
Hello, Brendo.
Hello, Matt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is your camera left. Hey. 1, 2.
Very happy there.
And there's your camera right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You are relieved.
Relieved. Thanks.
Thank you, mate.